17 বছর, 17 years from the time I was doing music and doing my work. একদিন ভোর 3টের সময় একটা 46 কেজির এক বন্ধু বাড়িতে আসে। তাকে আমি যখন এরকম জড়িয়ে ধরি, সে আমার কাঁধের উপর চলে যায়, ততটাই তার ওয়েট ছিল। He was wearing a purple color shirt that day. It was 2008. আর আজকে তারপর থেকে যেটা আমরা শুরু করি, আমার মনে হয় এইখানে এসে যেটা আমার মনে হচ্ছে, জুবিন যেটা সবসময় বলতো, হ্যাঁ আমি তোমার থেকে বেশি বাঙালি, আমি তো আধা বাঙালি, আমি তোমার থেকে বেশি বাঙালি। তো জুবিন মানে জীবন, জুবিন মানে জীবন।
We are very honored and happy, excited to have in our platform. We get back to the Orco days. How does Orco happen, and this initial days, if you could talk about your journey into music and band?
Yeah, sure. So Orco basically happened because all of us was a working band, perhaps the first working band in the country, which today has traveled to around 66 Indian cities and abroad. But we were primarily working corporates who all gathered together in the Silicon city of Bangalore. And there was one gentleman who's no more with us again, Moiner Ghuraguli is one of the founder, Ranjan Ghoshal. We generally was jamming for one of the concerts. We got to know everybody over there, and it was a super hit show in the first concert. It was called Shottindar Tebile, Shottindar Cantina Table Baji. We happened to meet everybody, and then everybody was so excited that it was the first ray of sun kind of stuff in Bangalore, because Bangalore was full of metal and western. So there was no such thing of Hindi, Bengali or regionalistic music. So since most of us was Bengalis and Ranjanda itself was from Moiner Ghuraguli, so he insisted that we form a band. And on 14th August, when we are celebrating, almost in the verge of celebrating Independence Day, in his drawing room, we formed the band called Orco. Orco is about first rays of sun or sun rays, and we always wanted to become the rays of that sun, which completed its 25th year in 2025, which started at 2000. It was a very humble journey, but we were literally welcomed by all the people of Bangalore, and we became a household name in Bangalore city. That made us to around 2,600 concerts, plus excluding this year. But then we have still maintained 3 of the band members, core band members, still playing together. And we also have wanted to do something which is like my personal agenda is I to us and me to we, because we musicians always tend to be I, me, myself. I personally found it is not a bad thing at all, but there is somewhere, if you are a little more fortunate, we should do something for the society and somebody who's really, really deserving. So we did 3 things in our life. One is to create a destination for musicians with support of the malls. We started with Phoenix Market City, and we started a music destination for the first time in Bangalore, and then it went to 6 different cities, wherein malls of Bangalore embraced music. And today, most malls give work to musicians. It's a permanent, sustainable work, but it started by Orco in 2010. And then today is 2025, the last 15 years. Basically, we started with like-minded musicians like Zubeen Garg, KK, Kunal Ganjawala, and out of that, 2 people have already left us. But the journey should continue. And the second thing what we did was creating a music factory, which we felt was necessity in India, that everything has a factory, but music factory, no, it is not there, which is non-film, original, basic music. It should be created and it should be nurtured, but there was no place where you get audio, video, shoot, recording. So we started as what was a dream, today is a success story. We have a 6.5 floor studio residency, which is open to everybody who is extremely talented but do not have means to pursue music. And we are very proud and honored and thankful to God that today 100 plates of food, their shelter, their entire studio, everything is given free of cost. Not only that, everybody is earning more than ₹500,000 rupees in Bangalore city, and there are 19 of them staying in the studio itself. It's called Alive India Studio, you can check it out. And the third thing what we wanted to do, and which we want to do, is to create this whole music as a entity to become sustainable by tying up with colleges, so that music education gets its real meaning by getting to learn what is recording, what are the hit riders, what is it there to mean, live show touring, These are extremely scientific and technologically very advanced today. So it's not about being a singer, how does the songwriting happens. The whole process, the ecosystem, how do you pitch to a Spotify is no more the same what it used to be in the good old days. The song and music has become very, very different. So we are trying to do these things by creating live destinations, by creating music as a sustainable medium, so that it becomes beyond our band. So Orco Live to Alive India. And as a founder of Alive India, I'm very proud and very happy that today whatever I've dreamt, and including support from friends like Zubeen and KK and Kunal, and so we started launching artists also, including Arijit's first concert in Bangalore, to Shreya, to Sunidhi, to anybody, Mame Khan. So we now started doing work for all the brands, and we do work with 26 Indian states across the country, and that's the sustenance model, that we work with lots of brands, create music for them, and also give away a lot of work across Indian states. So that's what the journey is all about.
That's really fascinating. Now, going back to Orco days, if you look back, which has been the most memorable concert for you, a performance, which is very close?
First Durga Puja. First Durga Puja is the most memorable because that time, 2000, Bangalore never knew what is a sound system. So we were told by one of the organizers, who's been a very good friend, all our dadas, why don't you do the microphone which is there for Anjali ka mic jo hota hai, that Bhoge line apna dadiye porun, this is enough na for you guys. Boss, this is the announcement mic. So I think those were the awareness days in a city like Bengaluru in 2000. Today there is a tech rider which is being spent by organizer to around 2.5, 3 lakh, 4 lakhs rupees. Then the artist fees, then comes travel. But our first concert was people carrying, all the CEOs and MD carrying our luggages, and they have been extremely kind to us. So it was our first Durga Puja concert after the band being formed, with that first concert at Niaz Auditorium, to the first Eva Durga Puja. It happened in August, and our puja was in September end. So we rocked it, and we did 9 concerts in 4 days. So it was 2 concerts a day. So it was all tech rider, kya hai, those days the word tech rider was not there. But definitely a sound system, sound engineer, light engineer, all that was actually hired by organizers in Bangalore, and they knew what is music and they got a taste of it, and the rest is a history. Today is 25th year of Orco.
Since you are involved in the industry, music industry per se, how do you see the present scenario of the music industry, the challenges, the trends?
So I think it's completely becoming more and more difficult because as we have seen the entire gamut of stuff from records to cassette, cassette to CD, CD to MP3, MP3 to now completely digital. So I think India as a country have never been used to buying music or listening music with money. Vis-a-vis Western countries wherein there is nothing called music in a film. Music is always a soundtrack. So the respect for the music and musicians by paying money, because music is life. Without music you cannot survive. There will be riots, there will be... In fact, most of the countries where the music is not so popular, I don't want to name the countries, but wherever music is not allowed freely, those days are most poor, most number of riots happen over there, most number of bloodsheds happen over there. But in a country like India, wherein people worship music and there is no division when it comes to musician. No, there has been no division when it comes to Mohammad Rafi or a Kishore Kumar. Nobody ever says that he is of this religion. No, it never happens. Similarly, it doesn't restrict itself to caste, creed, boundary, religion, state, nothing. But the challenge is that who will pay for the music? Because everything is free. So that is the reason we thought about it 15 years back, and we started this whole organization by Orco, to Orco Live to Alive, because we thought the most relevant word to even speak to you right now is being alive. And till the time your last breath is, you must do something for not only you, but people around you. And I think artists have a social responsibility towards the fellow beings, the society, because artist is a voice. So if you want to become a voice of the nation, therefore you have to do something which really carries that word. And people like Zubeen has shown what humanity is and what he has done way beyond his music, which is so great. But today, as I have come for my friend Zubeen, and I went to Bangalore on Tuesday, but because of love and friendship, in just 2 days I returned back with my family. Okay, it's for Zubeen. So I guess things are challenging, but if Alive India becomes a little more bigger by people's support, I think we can do wonders by creating franchisee model and making it to a really marriage between art form and commerce and technology and community And because there is enough number of takers today in the market, but question is that organized force is very, very limited, not there itself. And secondly, we as musicians, we always tend to feel that we are God's gift to mankind, which of course band like us or any band who has sustained for 25 years have never thought. We have always thought about tomorrow, always thought about being ahead of time. So we have always thought that, okay, what is it today, but I have to think, few months ahead, few years ahead. And that's how legendary musicians like Adi Mohammed Salicho, Ilya Raja, A.R. Rahman, they have always thought ahead of time. Pink Floyd, they are always ahead of time. So we are always thinking, at least our initiatives has been like this Roti Kapra Makan, music or Rozgar. That's our thing. I sing to save. I don't charge money when there is a less money. I don't charge. I tell, okay, give it to my foundation. That foundation can take care of however small money is. In which this voice of mine is a gift of God. I don't owe it. It is given by Him. So why don't I use my voice for betterment of the society? I think that's what, if we come united and really become practical, there is enough takers in the market. But if you do one song and sleep for 4 days, nothing can happen. That's what Western countries has taught us. I mean, music is a huge business over there. Music has a huge respect over there. Because A, there is no music. And today the same thing is happening in India. You don't have music in the films. In fact, films started coming down. OTTs have taken over. OTT also don't have music. So ultimately, basic independent music. I think every music is an independent music. Then it goes to film, then it goes to X, then it goes to Y. Or radio or television, whatever. But music is music. आज म्यूजिक खरीदने का दिन आ गया. बट वही है कि मतलब कितने हम लोग एक साथ रह सकते हैं, कितना हम लोग एक साथ इकट्ठे काम कर सकते हैं, कैसे हम लोग 24 घंटा को 46 आवर्स में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं. दैट इज़ व्हाट द स्किल इज.
And the last question, a lot of youngsters are watching this. If they want to pursue a journey into music, you have one word of advice.
Is self-discipline, because talent is given. I always say that most of the Indian idols have not made it to the big time. Most of the people who have failed in life have become millionaires. Most of the people who are actually, you don't have any degree in Saregama or you class 10 fail also. Even if you take the richest man in the world was also not heavily qualified. So even people like Rabindranath Tagore and whoever you see is big, Maradona, Pele, they all come from very humble background. But what they had within them, or a Zubeen Garg who has done 40,000 songs and above 1 lakh plus shows in his lifetime. So something is there which is a differentiator. I personally feel that you guys must have a differentiator. You can't just be a singer and you think that world will come in your feet. No, it will not happen anymore. World is now creating songs in seconds by AI. So you have to be better than the best. I always say, at least try to become better than the best, because if you don't, machine is anyway cloning you. Some kind of X factor is required beyond just singing or just playing. You have to have a little more of that X factor, because if you really look from the time memorial, anybody whom you worship is an original. They are not a duplicate. They are originals. Anybody, any field, cricketer, footballer, singer, musician, any art form, they are all originals. Even the billionaires, if you really know their story, all are definitely having some bit of X factor. You find out what is your differentiator factor. How will you be different from another singer or another musician? There has to be something more. Only then you can stand in today's very, very ruthless world. Otherwise, do a 10 to 7, at least your sustenance is fixed. Music as a profession is extremely difficult, and it will become even more difficult. It's only champions will survive.
Thank you for this wonderful interaction.
Nare ra ra re de